Oh my, I'm terribly late this morning, but we got off to a late start. But anyway, I've finally arrived here at the broadcast parking lot, Sprouts, in the Land Park area of Sacramento. And today, believe it or not, I'm going to talk about marriage. Yes. And not only that, but I don't know if all of you know this, but for many, many years, I've got Universal Life Church, clergyman credentials. And so in most states in the United States, that's all the credentials I need to officiate at wedding ceremonies. I'm going to have to clean my glasses here. At wedding ceremonies. And I've taken advantage of that over the years. And a number of years ago, I had the great privilege of officiating at the marriage of Wald and Ruth Ann Amberstone in New York. Now, New York's a little different, okay? In New York, you really have to jump through hoops as far as your clergy credentials are. Well, I definitely have other clergy credentials as in my capacity as Archbishop of Ecclesia Gnostica Catholica, but I've never been called upon to actually, sign state documents and things like that as far as wedding ceremonies and wedding licenses, marriage licenses, and things. So I had to jump through many, many, many legal hoops and get all sorts of stuff from the leadership of the OTO, and I had to have many, or at least several, notarized things, only so I could have because I was a non-resident of New York, I had to jump through quite a few expensive hoops and impose upon the leadership of the OTO and everything else to provide me with written credentials just to marry two people in New York, in the state of New York, and they only gave me 24 hours to do it. But anyway, the point is, and I'm so glad I did, it was a lovely ceremony, and joining me in officiating that wedding was my dear friend for years, Mary Greer. But enough name dropping. Because I've married a lot of people over the years, many of those wedding ceremonies were in conjunction with Constance and I officiating at a Gnostic Mass, and then the wedding ceremony was inserted at the proper place within the Gnostic Mass. But over the years, other people, non-OTO people, even non-magical people, that just wanted a simple non-Christian generic wedding have acquired me to do their wedding ceremonies. And I'm going to actually share with you a booklet that I created for one couple's wedding, and this is sort of the rough draft of it. I'm going to share with you one of these generic, non-particularly magic, non-particularly uh, uh, magical or thelemic or anything else in particular that I did for non-magical people. So I thought you would get a kick out of that. But first, I'm going to read you a little something that I included in Ask Babylon about marriage. And while we're speaking of marriage and monogamy and all of that, Babylon has for a number of years been legally empowered to marry couples. This is something he really enjoys doing, especially for friends. Once upon a time, a young man and young woman came to the home of Babylon and St. Constance and said something like this, and it really is something like, I'm embellishing this with Babylon legend talk. Okay. Babylon, we are in love and have come to ask you to marry us. But even in our joy, we have fears. All around us, we see sadness and strife of unhappy couples. Most marriages today end in bitter divorce. The newspapers are filled with terrible tales of jealous lovers who beat and kill one another. We read that more pregnant women are murdered by the fathers of their children than die by any other cause. These atrocities committed in the name of love make us reticent to take the marriage vows. Babylon, you and St. Constance have been married for many earth years. We observe you to be happy, you make each other laugh, you touch and hug and speak with joy about your son. What's the secret of your love? What wisdom can you share with us at the beginning of our journey together? What must we do to be as happy as Babylon and St. Constance? Babylon adjusted his turban and looked at Constance as if silently asking permission to speak. I laughed at myself for 20 minutes when I wrote that. Eventually, he cleared his throat and said, "My friends, I must tell you that you will never make one another happy." He then reached for his guitar, and as everyone feared, he began to sing. I'm not going to sing, I'll just repeat that. Love is bigger than happiness. So you're in love and want to wed, but see, most marriages end up dead. To Babylon, you've voiced your fears. Yes, I've been married for 43 years. Well, now it's almost 55. St. Constance is the perfect wife, brings joy and beauty to my life. As husbands go, I'm not so bad, and we've both done well as mom and dad. Our marriage endures for years and years through ups and downs and fits and tears because we've learned and now confess that love is bigger than happiness. Vital to life as happiness is, hers must be hers and his must be his. The old cliche is worn and sappy, but only you can make you happy. So I say to the would-be mated, communication is overrated. Probe not too deep each other's head. Contempt is born when mystery's dead. Monogamy's not for everyone. It has its pros, it has its cons. But once you've pledged to that relation, try to be good at it for the duration. Be not too quick to throw in the towel. Don't stray, don't cruise, don't sneak, don't prowl. Chances are good if you're miserable here, in no time at all you'll be miserable there. So remember my words, through the pain and stress, love is bigger than happiness. I bless you both and wish you luck. I'll marry you now for $100. Okay. that's from Ask Babylon. I'm not sure what it is I'm seeing on my screen, but I hope you're still seeing this. Here's a booklet. Here, I'll print it out generically, or I'll share it with anybody, because this is a couple that was actually, it was the daughter and future son-in-law of some people at work. Okay, they wanted to get married, and they wanted to get married legally, but they didn't want a big ceremony or anything else. They did it in a little outdoor chapel in Laguna Beach, as I recall. And I spoke to them briefly. They came to the house, and we discussed what they wanted to do. They wanted to do a little fire thing where they light a couple candles and things like that. And I more or less said, well, and they had rings, and but they didn't want me to mention anything about God or anything about. They just wanted to leave religion out of it, which is I'm happy to do for anybody. Be that as it may, I wrote this up and submitted it to them, and they thought that would be just perfect. So I'm not going to use their real names as I've written down here, so I'm going to call them The Wedding of Luke and Laura. And this was June 30th, 2012. The entrance of the wedding party. And I got little things. It says, facing lawn, bride stands to groom's left. Lawn. We're all here today because Laura and Luke have invited us here. No matter what our past connection has been to these dear young people, whether it be as family, a family member, or friend, today that relationship is transcended. Today, Laura and Luke have graciously bestowed upon us a more profound honor. Today, we are their guests. Now, some of us may think that Laura and Luke have invited us here to be witnesses, to see them join together in love and commitment. I'm afraid we're too late for that. They're already in love. They've already, in the privacy of their own souls, made their sacred marriage commitments. The words they will nervously pronounce during this brief ceremony will be pale and inadequate substitutes for vows we will never hear. There is no bond that can unite the divided but love. And it's love, not money, not success, nor family, nor friends, nor government, nor church, that unites and sustains two people in marriage. Love has been likened to a fire that creates, sustains, and consumes the universe. Our individual souls are sparks of that great fire, and though we live our lives as separate flames from separate candles, our light is ultimately born of the one light. Our lives the expression of one love. And here's where the bride and groom each light a candle of their own from one flame. Now, you'll excuse me if I share something personal. My wife, Constance, and I have been married for 44 years. Now it's 54 years. And through trial and error, we've discovered Are you through? And through trial and error, we've discovered what we call the secret of marriage. And now, because I've already been paid for my services and there's nothing they can do to stop me, I'm going to share that secret with Luke and Laura. When two strong souls and two strong wills and two strong minds unite, there will come rounds when standing your grounds will turn into a fight. So here and now, before reciting your vows and while you're high as a kite, agree that one of you will know everything and the other will always be right. This compromise is very wise. You'll use it day and night. It's an understanding that's not demanding. It's unbreakable. Try as you might. So leave behind the dark uncertainty. Step boldly into the light of a world where Luke knows everything and Laura is always right. And after the congregation stops tittering, in his classic work, The Prophet, Gahil Gibran counsels newlyweds. Be together, but let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of heaven dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the souls, the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together, and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music, give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping. For only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together, for the pillars of the temple stand apart. And the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. So now I'm going to ask each of you a simple question. Laura, do you choose Luke to be your life companion, to share your life openly with him, to speak truthfully and lovingly to him, to accept him fully as he is and delight in who he is becoming, to respect his uniqueness and encourage and support him through all of the changes of your years together? Now, I've got a little parenthesis note here. It says, now, Laura is expected to say, I do. And here's what I've written. If she does not, then the ceremony ends here, and we must all hurry to the reception table and eat and drink as much as we can before they kick us out. I didn't say that. That's just for the souvenir booklet. Okay. Luke, do you choose Laura to be your life companion, to share your life openly with her, to speak truthfully and lovingly to her, to accept her fully as she is and delight in who she is becoming, to respect her uniqueness and encourage and support her through all the years, all the changes of your years together? And Luke is now expected to say, I do. If he does not, then the ceremony ends here, and we must hurry to the reception table and eat and drink as much as we can before we're kicked out. Okay. The ring is the next phase here. Luke, do you have a ring for Laura? Luke takes Laura's hand. Luke, as you place the ring on Laura's finger, say after me. As this ring adorns your hand, let it serve to remind you of my love, my honor, and my respect. Laura, do you have a ring for Luke? Laura takes Luke's hand. Laura, as you place the ring on Luke's finger, say after me. As this ring adorns your hand, let it ever serve to remind you of my love, my honor, and my respect. Okay. The last part is the pronouncement. Luke and Laura, upon you, that this day unite with love, under will let fall success. Make strength and skill unite to bring forth ecstasy, and beauty answer beauty. You've made your vows one to the other and exchanged tokens of your love. By the power of that love, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kiss. Then I turn them around. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Wilczynski. Exit of wedding party. Bride and groom, maids and men of honor paired, bride's family, groom's family, lawn, and then guests leave. That's the order of ceremony to a Babylon generic wedding ceremony. I've done maybe scores of them over the years, certainly dozens and dozens. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cute, and if I have time, I will sort of I'll try to share it somehow with you on Facebook. So that's it for today. I again apologize for being late, but it's one of those Tuesday things. So until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.